Hi everyone. We're doing this recording. It's a pre-recorded video. It's not live. We have had a lot of inquiries, especially from Malaysia, property investors who like to invest in properties in Melbourne, either buying a house for the kids here or buying as investment. And many Malaysians always ask, whether finance is available to them. In the old days, yes, you can borrow from Australian banks, but a few years ago, rules have changed. So Malaysians now mostly have access to finance from either some Malaysian banks and companies like BC Invest, which we will get them to join us today to talk about finance option for Malaysians. So I am joined today by Charles Lim from BC Invest. Charles is a senior relationship manager from this company, and him and his team has helped many foreign investors to get finance to buy Australian properties across key Australian cities. So thank you, Charles, for taking the time to join me today for this recording. I think it is really important for me to do this to help a lot of my clients who hopefully one day become your clients as well, and to understand how this finance work and the key, the important information that they should know. So let's get started. Maybe Charles, you can tell us a little bit about BC Invest.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for inviting, Jolene. So basically, BC Invest is actually a non-bank lender that specializes in non-resident finance. So we have a range of products that are available right now to those PR and especially overseas buyers. And I've been with this company since like when they like started since I think 2016. So it's been more than like 3 years right now.
Okay.
Already.
So Charles, is BC Invest a local Australian company?
Oh yeah, BC Invest is actually our headquarters based in Australia, and then we have all different sort of offices across the globe. Like we have offices in Singapore, we have Malaysia, we have China, and even in Hong Kong as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's really good to know.
Yeah, international.
Okay.
Worldwide. Yeah.
And Charles, may I just ask you, this is for the benefit of the Malaysian viewers or maybe other international viewers. So most of the people who has come to you to get finance or to ask for this, are they usually pure investors, or are they homeowners as well, like parents buying for kids and all that?
Yeah, they are different types of clients. Mostly they are investors because they purchase off the plan like back in 2-3 years ago, and then because nowadays the banks they're not available to lend to the overseas buyers, so they all come to us, and then a lot of investors, and of course there are some buyers they are wanting to migrate to Australia. They want to have an owner-occupied property, but they are using foreign income from other countries, so they have to come to us to get the loan.
It's interesting you mentioned earlier on just now that it's also available to PR, because I realized that there's some situation whereby our clients are Malaysians, but they do have PR status in Australia. Because of that, they actually are not able to borrow from a Malaysian bank, because Malaysian bank do not lend to a Malaysian who has a PR status. So this is actually perfect. It works out well for them. So
and for the PR products, our rates are lower than the overseas buyers product, because we have a different product. So the interest rate also are different than the totally like non-residents.
Buyers. And Charles, I know, I mean, we've worked through this, but again, I'm asking this for this video purpose. When someone, an overseas person, like when they express an interest that they want to buy a property here, and would you actually encourage them to find out first their borrowing capacity before going into, I'm going to choose this property, and then later on find out that they are not qualified? So would it also make your job easier later on? I'm not sure. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, I think more secure for a client is to let them talk to me first, and I have a glance on their income documents and like roughly calculate how much they can borrow, what's their borrowing capacity, like how much.
I think that
like,
that way it's also easier for me to help the clients to get
exactly.
the best product based on their borrowing capacity.
True.
And I actually have a list of questions here that I would like to
No
ask
problem.
you. So I'm just let's say like a lot of clients ask me, let's say they're looking at a property that is completing like in 12 months time or 18 months time, and they are checking with you now with their borrowing capacity and all that. So a lot of them ask, and how would I know if 12 months down the road or 18 months down the road, this is still available to me? So what would you say, or as a guideline, like things that shouldn't change, in the status and all that, or how secure they are, 18 months down the road, they can still get this?
Yeah, I mean, we can do a pre-approval first. Once they got the, they sign a contract, and then we do a pre-approval first. And nearer to the settlement, like maybe 1 or 2 months, like settlement before, we will request them to provide updated documents. So if the income and the debts still remain the same, then we will be no issue with that. But if you, let's say, like the income has dropped and you have increased your debts in your country, like maybe increased credit cards limits or other home loans increase, then it might affect your borrowing capacity in the later date. Yeah.
Okay, so it is important that we highlight to the client that as long as your income level and your debt exposure or whatever do not change, it's very likely or shouldn't be a problem that they can get the loan approved.
Exactly.
Eventually.
Because we are here for long term, and we offer clients 30 years long term. So we still will be here. It just depends on the client's income documents.
Okay.
And the financial position. Yeah.
And roughly, I know you may not have this information, but roughly, based on your experience, what are the success rate so far for people who apply?
Yeah, so far, basically, after I have glanced through the documents, if there's any needing extra documentation, I will ask from the client. So basically, when I submit it to the team, like the credit team, and get a formal approval, basically, mostly will be 100%.
So I would say that based on your first, let's say your first meeting or discussion with them, like you will roughly know already, before they submit, you will roughly know whether they qualify or not.
Exactly, because from my end, I will definitely able to look into the documents and tell them what is the issue, and give them the advice. Yeah. So if I pass through my assessment, there will be definitely no problem.
Welcome back, Charles. We lost you there for a little bit. I'll just resume this. So the next question that a lot of I think people would like to know would be, of course, the cost of financing, or even like the upfront cost and all that. Because as you know, I think a few years ago there were quite a few private lenders that charge very, very hefty fees and very high interest rates. So in terms of you comparing to normal banks, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your company's rates and fees.
Oh, sure, no problem at all. Our fees actually are much lower than before. Like comparing, we are talking about the comparing last year. So at the moment, our fee, like total all add up together, is around 1,500 like Aussie dollar.
Okay.
And we don't have all those risk fee and establishment fee anymore. Like because previously we have like about 2 to 3% of the fees that need to pay to get the loan. So at the moment, you don't have to pay all these fees. You just have to pay like around 1,500, including the application fee. That's it to get the loan. Yeah, so it's very cheap.
Sorry. Yeah, it actually sounds really reasonable. And is this payable upfront?
Only the application fee 990 is payable upfront. Others fee will be deducted from the loan amount when you
Okay.
draw down the loan. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's say it's the legal fees and some
Mhm.
settlement fee that will be drawn down from there.
Ah, okay, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And I think I will let our viewers know, where to visit to get your brochures and all that, and I
No
can even
problem.
give it to our clients. But maybe just in the video, let us know like roughly the rate for a PR person and the rate for a foreigner, like starting from,
Sure, no problem. Roughly about if you are non-resident, like totally overseas buyers, you look at the rate 3.88% right now.
Okay, oh, that's pretty
So
good.
if you have a PR or you're using overseas income, you have a PR or other visa status, you probably can get the 2.98% interest rate starting
That's
from.
really good. Very
Yes,
good. I think it's very
absolutely.
attractive. A lot of, I think some of my clients would be very interested. I actually didn't know about this PR rate. I think it's quite new recently, yeah?
Absolutely, and
Okay.
it also depends on the client as well. If they're using they're purchasing single contract or house and land packages,
Yeah.
because the rates will be different on
Okay.
that side.
Okay, okay. Yes, I think house and land packages usually, even the buying process, it's usually a bit more confusing for buyers,
Yeah,
as compared to, like a single contract townhouse or apartment.
yeah, yeah, correct.
Okay. And oh, just to let viewers know, like between house and land and single contract, are the rates a lot different?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The rates are slightly different. So let's say for the single contract for non-resident, like overseas buyers. So the single contract one will be 3.88%.
Okay.
And if you are purchasing the house and land, we are looking at 4.48%.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So it's like
Right.
0.5% different,
A
roughly
bit
around.
more.
Yeah.
Okay. And usually how long is the loan tenure that you offer this to clients?
Yeah, our loan tenor will be same as the local banks. We do 30 years long term. But of course,
Okay.
it depends on the client's age as well. Our maximum age is up to 80 years old. So let's say
Oh,
if you are 60 years old, then your loan term will be around 20 years
okay.
or slightly a little bit more like 2021. If
Got
your
it, got it.
investment, if the property is investment property.
Okay, that's it. And
Yeah.
that's good to know. And how about sorry, interest only payments? Do you guys offer that as well?
We do interest only payment as well, but you need to add on the loading on top of the interest rate,
I see.
0.3% loading. So
Okay.
let's say if your rates are 3.88, so after interest only loading add up will be 4.18.
Okay.
Yeah,
And oh, this is just for me. I think I've never asked you this question before.
sure.
Would you consider the potential or the future income of this property as part of the client's?
We do consider the
Okay.
proposed rental income.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
even
good.
even if the client has other rental incomes
Mm,
from their home country, we
yeah.
also can consider as well.
Ah,
Yeah,
interesting.
so it's not only for AUD income. So you have other rental properties in
Yeah.
different countries. We can use those rental income to service as well.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Let me see what is the next question. So let's say I know this is very subjective, but let's give an example. Like let's say a property of 550 or 500 or 550,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
The loan to value ratio you offer usually it's around or maximum how much?
I think we the best scenario looking at will be 65% to 70%.
Okay,
This
the
range.
best. Okay,
Yeah, the best
okay,
one.
yeah,
Because our average client will be around 65%.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And sorry, the reason why I mentioned the price range was I wanted to know, let's say someone who is looking at 500 or 550,000 kind of range of property, and they're looking at 65,000 LVR, and
Yep.
what kind of income, are they expected to have? I mean, I know it's very hard to say because it depends on what debts they
Sure.
have and all that, but in general, what kind of income level they should be looking at?
Okay, so let's say just now you're giving the example 550,000 for the
Yeah.
property. So we are giving the income in ringgit, right? In Malaysian ringgit, is it?
Whichever that's easier. I'm sure.
I think yeah, we will do it in ringgit. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's say 550, and if you are getting a loan at 65% LDR,
Yeah.
okay, so it will be about 300 something. Okay, so the income we're looking at will be around 25 to 30,000 per month.
Okay, 25 to 30,000
in ringgit,
ringgit per month.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
This also given that if the client has a 200,000 credit card limits.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
will be at this range. So if you have no credit card limits at all, then you will be even lower.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. And also, I realized that in Australia, maybe like in recent years, right? What do you call self-employed people or people running business?
Yeah.
They face challenges of getting finance more than an employed person. And what are your views on that from your company?
We do have different clients, they mostly are PAYG, which is a salaried employee, and of course we do have some self-employed clients.
Yeah.
So they have two options to provide. They can either provide the employment 2 years company financials,
yeah,
or they can use an accountant letter to declare how much their company earning. So we can use the accountant instead of the 2 years company financials. So it depends on the client at the end.
Okay.
Which document they provide.
Well, I will of course leave all these, finance and advice to you, advising our clients, but all the information is really good. I think especially for newcomers.
Definitely.
Okay, and I know that we previously discussed that, even buying process and maybe borrowing process for house and land packages a bit different, but I guess the financial requirement or their borrowing capacity should be about the same.
Exactly the same. So there's no difference at all. The requirement documents will be the same, and also the servicing as well will be the same.
And before I send a client to you, to get an assessment done, what are your advice to them? What should they, prepare or have in mind? Information that they should give it to you.
I think the most important document that I need to see, which is the income documents, like how much they're earning, and how they prove it is based on the bank statements. And another important thing, which is the home country credit report. Like for Malaysia, for example, we will need the CITOS or the Bank of Negara credit report. So inside this credit report, will show all kinds of credit card limits and the bank loans the client has in the country. So, and then we will use the income plus the debts to put into the calculator for the servicing and see how much they can borrow. Yep.
Sure. And is there anything useful on your website that clients could get?
My website got all the documentation, like the loan brochures, but if you want to go through the detail, it's better to talk to me directly through WhatsApp or WeChat also can.
Yeah. So to the viewers, I will include contact details and all that in the description, or as usual, you guys can contact me. And I think today so far, all the information has been very useful. And this is really, really helpful. I think especially for newcomers or even people who has invested before but looking to do more of this, Charles can advise. Contact me. I'll put you guys in touch. My name is Jolene. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself in the beginning of the video. And well, thank you, Charles, so much for your time today with me.
No problem at all, Jolene. Thank you for inviting.
No problem. So ladies and gentlemen, that was the video recording or the interview that I had with Charles from BC Invest. For all of you who are interested to find out more, do get in touch. I have listed out all the way to get in touch with us. Thank you so much for your time.